guys, welcome to my 6 days free class of intensive chemistry calculation, and today happens to be the first day of this marathon 6 days free class. And also do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel if this is your first time coming across my video, and also do well to share my YouTube channel links to your friends preparing for the 2026 JAMB examination. And in today's lesson, I'll be teaching us pH and POH calculations. So let's get started with today's lesson. Now the first question says, what is the pH of a 0.001 mole per dm cube solution of hydrochloric acid, which happens to be HCl? Now if you look at this question very well, we are being asked to find what? We are being asked to find pH. Normally, back in those days in our secondary school, the formula we know for calculating pH is this formula, which happens to be pH equal to minus log open bracket hydrogen ion. So this happens to be what the formula that we know for calculating pH. It is also correct, but in today's lesson I'll be showing us a very simple formula for calculating pH with ease in the JAMB examination hall. Now the formula is this, which happens to be pH equal to n minus log A. Very simple. So this is the formula for that will be revealed to us for calculating what pH with ease in the examination hall. Now with this formula you can calculate pH question within 1 minute, and to be very simple and very quick. But before I solve this particular question, there are some things that I would like to say to us. Now, for those of us that have been to the JAMB examination hall before, or for those of us that have not gone there before, I want to tell you guys something. Now, in the JAMB examination hall, the JAMB calculator does not have what? Log. And then each year, JAMB will give you questions regarding to what? To pH and POH calculations. So how are you going to tackle questions like that? But don't worry, in this video lesson, I'm going to be showing us how to calculate JAMB-based pH questions and POH calculations without even using log table in the JAMB examination hall. In today's lesson, I'm also going to be giving us the first 10 log table, and I want you guys to memorize it. I just approximated it because the JAMB calculator does not have what? Log. And each year JAMB will give us questions regarding to what? To pH. So how are you going to tackle questions like that? Don't worry, in today's lesson I'll show us how to tackle questions even without the log in JAMB calculator. So just stay to the end of this lesson, and also do well to share my YouTube channel link to your friends preparing for the 2026 JAMB examination. So please take note of this. I'm about to write on the board right now the first 10 log. Please take note of this. Please take note that log 1 is equal to what? 0. Then log 2 is equal to what? 0.30. Take note of this. Then log 3 equal to what? 0.48. Then we have log 4 equal to what? 0.60. Then we have log 5 equal to what? 0.70. Then we have what? Log 6 equal to what? 0.80. Then we have log 7 equal to what? 0.86. We have log 8 equal to what? 0.90. We have log 9 equal to what? 0.95. Then finally we have log 10 equal to what? 1. Please take note of this. If you can just memorize this, the calculating JAMB-based pH and POH calculation questions will not be difficult for you, because there's nothing like log in the JAMB calculator, and each year they will give you questions regarding to what? To pH. So I brought out this. I approximated some of them. Please, I want you to do me a favor by memorizing them and also familiarize yourself with them. So now, having brought out this out, now let's now use this formula to calculate pH. Don't forget, I told you guys earlier on that I'll be showing us a simple formula for calculating pH with what? With ease. Now this happens to be what? The simple formula. Now let's come back to the question. The question says, what is the pH of a 0.001 mole per dm cube solution of hydrochloric acid? Now we're being asked to find what? pH. So pH equal to question mark, which is what we're looking for, then hydrogen ion, because to find pH, that means you must have hydrogen ion. So hydrogen ion equal to, we are not also given, this happens to be what? The concentration, but they gave us acid here, which happens to be what? Hydrochloric acid. Now to find our hydrogen ion, To find our hydrogen ion, we must therefore break this acid. So in doing so, it will be HCl equal to, we have plus, then plus Cl minus. So this happens to be what? Our first step, because we're finding the basicity of this acid. So HCl will break and give us hydrogen ion plus what? Chloride ion. So please take note of this. This happens to be what? Our first step. So from here to now find our hydrogen ion, so hydrogen ion will now be, we use this formula equal to what? Concentration times basicity. So hydrogen ion will be what? Concentration times what? Times basicity. Are you seeing it now? So therefore, equal to our hydrogen ion will be concentration, which will give you the question, which happens to be what? 0.001 times basicity. Basicity, please take note that basicity refers to what? The number of replaceable hydrogen ion in one molecule of what? Of an acid. So basicity is referred to what? An acid, not base. It is acidity that refers to what? To base. To get the difference between the two of them. So I haven't brought out this. Now, our basicity here is what? Is 1. Because the reason, because the hydrogen ion here is what? Is 1. If it was 2, if the atom of hydrogen ion here was 2, then our basicity what? Would be 2. So because the replaceable hydrogen ion in hydrochloric acid is 1, it therefore means our basicity is what? Is 1. So basicity equals to what? 1 here. So 0.001 times 1 will still give you what? 0.001. So this is what our answer. But in this case, we are going to take it to what? To standard form. We'll take it to what? To standard form by moving it. So we'll move the decimal point 1, 2, and then what? 3. So therefore our hydrogen ion will not be what? 1 times 10 raised by what? Minus 3 what? Mole per dm cube. So this happens to be our hydrogen ion. This is not yet our final answer. This is the what? Our hydrogen ion. Now, having gotten our hydrogen ion, let's now come back to what? To the question using the what? This short formula. So pH, so it now be what? pH equal to what? N minus log A. The formula I revealed to us earlier on. So pH is now equal to what? N minus what? Log A. This N, you see this N here, is the power of the hydrogen ion. I know the power is what? Minus 3, raised to power minus 3. But in this case, you're going to leave the minus sign and just take 3. So it's not be what? pH equal to what? 3 minus. Now this log A happens to be what? This one that is here. This one that is what? That is here. It's not be what? Log 1. So therefore pH is equal to what? 3 minus. Now log 1. Now, like I said earlier on, the JAMB calculator does not have what? Log table. Now, if you're calculating pH question, how do you know the value for what? For log 1. That's the reason why I gave you this first 10 log table to what? To memorize. Get used to them. They are not difficult. Get used to what? To them. Now, the value for log 1 is what? Okay, log 1. I made a mistake earlier on. So the value for what? For log 1 is equal to what? It's equal to 0. So please take note of them. So now what? 3 minus what? Log what? Log, okay, the value for log 1 is what? Is 0, like I said earlier on. So it now be what? pH equal to what? Now 3 minus 0 is equal to what? 3. So our pH for this particular question is what? Is 3. Bam. It's not difficult. Just it. Now you can also use this formula. This pH equals to what? Minus log hydrogen ion. You also get what? Your answer. But with this formula is what? It is quicker and what? And easier. Now we'll give you options in the question. Option A says 1, option B says 2, option C says 3, option D says 4, and we got what? 3. So our pH is 3 and option C is what? 3, which happens to be that option C is a what? Our correct option to this what? To this practice question. Please, if you find this video class very interesting, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Divine Online Chemistry Tutorial, and also do me a favor by what? By sharing my YouTube channel link to your friends to also partake in this free 6 days marathon class on what? On chemistry based calculations. Please share the YouTube link to your friends. Don't only enjoy the class alone, do well by sharing the link to what? To your friends to also partake in what? In this lesson before what? The 2026 JAMB examination. So from here, let's move straight to the next practice question of today. So this happens to be the second question of today's lesson. And the question says, calculate the pOH of a solution with a hydrogen ion concentration That's this, which is this hydrogen ion concentration of what? Of 1.0 times 10 raised to the minus 5 mole per d n cube. So in this question, we are looking for what? For the POH, but the concentration they give us here was for hydrogen ion concentration. Now, how are you going to solve question like this? Please take note that this question is what? It's very easy. It says what? We should calculate POH, but the concentration they give us here was for what? For hydrogen ion. The concentration was not for what? Hydroxide ion, for hydrogen ion. Now, the formula we're going to use to solve this question will be what? Please take note of what? Take note of these formulas I'm giving to you guys. Take note of what? Of all these formula. Now, the formula we're going to use is, for this particular question will be what? Will be what? pH plus POH equal to what? 14. So this will be what? The major formula they will be using for what? For this particular practice question. Now, if you look at the question says we should find POH. We're looking for what? POH. So this is what we're looking for. This POH. So what we are looking for. But the concentration that they give us was for what? For hydrogen ion. Because look at this now with a hydrogen ion concentration of what? 1.0 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5. Are you seeing it now? So what we're going to do first is to find what? Our pH. So we're going to use the hydrogen ion concentration they give us in this question to find what? Our pH. Then when we get the value for the pH, we'll now substitute the value that we got into this formula, and then we'll now make POH. Here, the solution of the formula here, by moving the pH to the other side, then we'll now get our what? Our POH. That's what I'm just going to do here. Now, in finding our pH, first of all, we're going to use that short formula that give us. It's very easy. So pH will be equal to what? N minus log A, first step, then pH equal to, now N is what? The power. Please take note of this formula. This N you are seeing here is the power of the hydrogen ion concentration, or if it's hydrogen ion, the concentration they gave you here, the power is what? Is the N. So please take note of that. Leave the sign attached to the power and just pick the value for the power. So it will not be what? 5 minus, now this log here happens to be what? The log 1.0. Log 1.0 is associated as log 1. So it will not be what? Log 1. So therefore pH is equal to 5 minus, now log 1. What's the value for log 1? This is the reason why I brought out this table. Please memorize them. Get used to them. So the value for log 1 is what? Is 0. So log 1 is what? 0. So therefore pH equal to what? 5 minus 0 is what? 5. So this happens to be our pH, but not the final answer. So now, having got the pH, we'll now come back to this formula. Now I have to come back to what? To this formula. So it will now be what? pH plus POH equal to what? 14. Now, our pH that we got was what? Was 5. So 5 plus what? POH equal to what? 14. Now, what I'm going to do here, make POH what? The subject of the formula by moving 5 to the what? To the right hand side. Now, please take note of this. Whenever a positive number is crossing equality sign, it will change to what? A negative number. And whenever a negative number is crossing equality sign, it will change to what? A positive number. Now, this positive 5 is crossing equality sign, it will not change to what? A negative what? A negative number. So please take note of what? That. So it's not be what? POH equal to what? 14 is here, you bring it first. 14 minus 5. So it's not be what? POH equal to, now 14 minus 5 is equal to what? Equal to 9. So this happens to be what? Our POH. So POH equals to what? Equal to 9. Now coming back to the option, we have option A to be 5, option B to be 7, option C to be 9, and we got POH to be what? To be 9. No need to ever go to option C again, which means option D and me again, which means our option C is what? Our final answer to what? To this particular question. So from here, I hope you guys understood all what I'll be solving. If you don't understand, please drop it on the comment section what you don't understand, or simply go to my YouTube community and discuss what you don't understand, and then when I come, I will solve it for us again. So from here, let's move straight to the next practice question of the day. Please share my YouTube channel link and do what to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share my YouTube channel link and do what to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are some people that have difficulties calculating POH and pH jam-based calculations. Please share this link to them so that they also participate in this 3 days marathon class. So let's move straight to what next practice question of what of today. So this happens to be the next practice question of this first day lesson. And the question says, what is the hydrogen ion concentration? Now we are now being asked to find hydrogen ion concentration, not longer pH or what pOH again. So it says, what is the hydrogen ion concentration of a solution with a pH of what? Of 5. So in this question, they give us the pH of what? To be 5. So pH equal to what? Equal to 5. Then the question says, what is the hydrogen ion concentration? So we're looking for hydrogen ion concentration. So hydrogen ion concentration equals to what? Equal to we don't know. That's what we're looking for in this particular question. So the formula that will be used in calculating this particular question will be, please take note of what? Of this formula. So to be what? Hydrogen ion, which is what we're looking for. Hydrogen ion equal to what? 10 raised to power minus pH. Are you seeing it now? So this happens to be the formula that will be using for this particular question. So hydrogen ion equals to what? 10 raised to power minus pH. Take note of this formula. Please share my YouTube channel link. Don't be stingy. Please share the link to your friends. Let them participate in what? In this 6 days, free 6 days class. So share the link to what? To your friends. Let them what? Subscribe to my YouTube channel and also what? Partake in what? In this free marathon class. So let's continue with what? With the calculation. So it's not be what? Hydrogen ion. Not be hydrogen ion equal to what? 10 raised to power minus. Now what's the value for pH? pH was given to us before 5. Are you seeing it now? So hydrogen ion equals to what? 10 raised to what? Minus 5. Now this 10 raised to minus 5 is same thing. If you take it to standard form, if you take it to is the standard form already, if you take it to decimal form, it's about 0.0000, I take 1. Yeah. So if you move it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this side become what? 10 for what? Minus 5. Now, this 10 raised to minus 5 is same thing as hydrogen ion. Same thing as what? Hydrogen ion equal to what? 1 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5. 1 times 10 raised to minus 5, same thing as what? 10 raised to what? Minus 5. So please take note of this. So our hydrogen ion for this particular question is what? 1 times 10 raised to minus 5 mole. Don't forget the unit. Mole per what? dm cube. So don't forget what? The unit. So our hydrogen ion for this particular question is what? 1 times 10 raised to minus 5. Take note that 1 times 10 raised to minus 5, same thing as what? 10 raised to what? Minus 5. If you do it in what? In decimal form, instead of what? 1 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5. Now coming back to the option A, we have 5.0 times 10 raised to minus 1, and we got 1 times 10 raised to minus 5. Option A is wrong. So option A is what? Wrong. Option B is what? 1.0 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5. And then here we got 1 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5. And here it's what? 1.0 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5, which happens to be option B. Now 1.0 and 1 is same thing. If you press the calculator, it says the same thing. So, and then option B is what? 1.0 times 10 raised to minus 5, and we got 1 times 10 raised to minus 5 here, which means option B happens to be what? The correct answer. So no need to even move to what? Option C and option D again, because here it is what? 1 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5, and here it is 1.0 times 10 raised to what? Minus 5, which means this hydrogen ion is what? Is correct, and option B is what? Our correct answer to what? To this particular question. So from there, let's move straight to what? To the next practice question of what? Of today's lesson. So this question happens to be what? The next practice question. Now the question says, determine the pH of a 2.50 times 10 raised to minus 5 mole solution of sodium hydroxide. Now if you look at this practice question very well, the question says that we should find what? pH. So first they bring out the parameters. So pH equal to question mark, which is what we're looking for. So we're looking for what? pH. But the concentration they gave us here was for sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is not what? It's not an acid. Sodium hydroxide is an alkali, a strong one at that. A strong alkali, NaOH. Now, normally, if we were asked to find pH, should be the formula to use is what? pH equal to what? N minus log A. This happens to be what? The formula to what? To use. Which means I want to give you what? The concentration of what? Of hydrogen ion. Because in finding pH, you want to give the concentration of what? Of hydrogen ion. But in this particular question, we were asked to see find what the pH, but the concentration was not for hydrogen ion. And you know we can only get hydrogen ion from acid. But the concentration they gave us for what? This sodium hydroxide, which happens to be what? Alkaline here. So what are we going? How are we not going to find pH? We cannot use this formula to find pH because they did not give us concentration of what? Of hydrogen ion. The concentration they gave us here was for what? Was for sodium hydroxide, which happens to be what? Alkaline. So what we're going to do here now is to use this other formula, which happens to be what? pH plus pOH equal to what? 14. So this happens to be what? The formula to what? To use for this particular what? For this particular question. So this will be the formula. But first, we need to find what? We need to find our pOH first. Because the question says determine the we need to find our pOH first. Yeah, we need to find our pOH first because it says what? Determine the pH of what? Of a 2.50 times 10 raised to what? -5 mole solution. So in order for us to be able to find this pH, we need to find our pOH first. Now, you know this formula I gave you guys for finding pH. You can also use this formula to what? To find our what? Our pOH. But we're not going to use this formula in finding our pOH. I will introduce also that formula for finding pOH. Reason because now if you look at this concentration that we're giving here, this concentration happens to be what? 2.50 times 10 raised to -5 mole. Now, if you look at this 2.5, if you check, if you are the one that usually checks 4 figures table, if you check 4 figures table, this 2.50 does not have a value in log in 4 figures table rather. 4 figures table, it's either you have 2 or either you have 5. You cannot see something like 2.5 and then you're going to check the value in 4 figures table. It is only calculator that you press 2.5 and then it will give you the log of what? 2.5. But in the JAMB calculator, there's nothing like log. So how do you not get the value for 2.5? If you ever check here, I only gave you log 2. I did not give you another value for log 2.5. So how are you not going to get the log of 2.5? Now this becomes a problem for JAMB students each year. But mind you, in this particular video, I'm going to show us on how to calculate this question. Even without calculator, yet we'll still get the answer. The highest thing that we'll do is to approximate, we'll still get the right answer. Don't forget, I said we are going to find our pOH first before finding the pH, because question said we should find what? pH. So that's what we are going to do for this particular question. Now, in finding our pOH, this is the formula going to be revealed to us. So it will now be what? pOH equal to N minus open bracket log S plus log Y close the bracket divided by what? Divided by 2. This will be what? The formula that will be used for what? For this particular question. Now you see this formula we are going to use to find what? Our pOH. We can also use this formula to as well find our what? Our pH. Don't forget, we can as well what? Use this formula to also find what? Our pH. We can as well see this formula to also find what? Our pOH. So also take note of what? Take note of this. But in this practice question, we are finding our pH first. Now let me explain this formula. You see this N happens to be what? The power of the concentration, which happens to be what? 5. Are you seeing it? Like it is -5 that's here. Leave the minus sign, pick only the value. So it's what? 5. Now you see this log S plus log Y. Now if you look at this 2.5 N, 2.5 is in between log 2 and log 3. I don't know if you guys understand me right now. You see this 2.5 is in between what? Log 2 and log 3. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put log 2 here, then log 3 here, divided by 2. It's like we're looking for what? The average. So look for what? The average. This is what we're going to do. If you follow this my procedure, you are going to get the answer. If you doubt me, press calculator, press the value, you are still going to get the same answer. So that's just it. So let's continue. Now, I haven't explained this formula. Now, let's not go straight to the question. So it will not be what? pOH equal to what? N is what? 5, the power. 5 minus open bracket log S plus log Y. Now, the reason why I'm using this process in solving this question for us is because the JAMB calculator does not have log. For those of us that have not been to the JAMB hub before, take note of this. JAMB calculator does not have what? Does not have log. Each year, JAMB will give you question based on this part. So I'm showing you process of solving it without using calculator, and then you still get the same answer. Even when you press the value calculator, you still get the same answer. Now 2.5, if you check off figures table, there's nothing like it will not give you the exact value except calculator. and then does not have what log jam calculator. So it is a process that I'm teaching you now that you'll be able to get this particular answer. So 2.5 is in between what log 2 and what and log 3. So it's not be what then this log s and log 1 will not represent what the log 2 and what log 3. So this log s will not be what log 2 then plus this log 1 will not be what log 3 close the bracket divided by what divided by 2. So now be what POH equal to 5 minus. Now get used to this table. I'll be repeating it ever since. Get used to what to this table. Get used to what to this table. Because if you get used to this table, now all this value not be what a big problem to what to us. Now log 2. How are we going to know the value of log 2? That's the problem. Because jam calculator does not have log. So that's why I brought out this. Just get used to it. Memorize it. They are correct. So it's not be what 5 minus open bracket. Now log 2 is what 0.30 plus then log 3 is what 0.48. Close the bracket. Everything divided by what? Divided by 2. Log 2 0.30. Log 2 0.30. Then log 3 0.48. Log 3 0.48. So get used to what? Get used to it. Then everything equal to, so now be what 5 minus. Now you will now go to what add this. So all this in value, you will now go to what add. Then so now be what 0.30 what plus 0.48. So pressing the calculator, jam calculator has plus. So you can do this result with what your jam calculator. So it's not what 0.30 plus 0.48 equal to 0.78. So we got what 0.78. So don't forget divided by 2 is still there, and this is in bracket also. Divided by what? By 2. Now what I'm going to do is what? Divide 0.78 by 2. So it will not be what? 0.78 divided by what? Divided by 2 equal to what? 0.39. So don't forget. So everything will be what? POH equal to 5 minus 0.78 divided by 2. We got 0.39. 0.39. Are you seeing it now? So to not get our POH, it's not be what 5 minus 0.39. So therefore, now get our POH, not be what 5 minus 0.39. So 5 minus 0.39 equals to what 4.61. So our POH is equal to what 4.61. Are you seeing it now? So this happens to be the value for what? For the POH. So POH equals to what? 4.61. Now, having got the POH, let's now substitute the value for what? For this POH into this formula, which happens to be what? Into all this formula, which happens to be what? pH plus POH equals to 14. Let's now see if we'll get our pH correctly. So pH, I'm coming up here because space, pH plus POH equal to what? 14. Are you seeing that? Are you following me? So value for, we are looking for our pH. So pH equal to, you are going to move this to the right hand side. It's now become minus. So pH equals what? 14 minus. Now 14 minus our POH, what do we get here? 4.61. So for 14 minus 4.61. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? 14 minus 4.61. So pH equal to, now pressing your calculator, your jam calculator has minus. So pressing your calculator, pressing 14 minus 4.61, 4.61 is equal to what? 9.39. So I got 9.39. So our pH happens to be what? 9.39. We can also approximate this. So pH, if you approximate this 3 by using this 9, it's not be what? pH equals to what? 9.4. So because this 9 approximate this 3 to become 4. So pH equals to what? 9.4. So this happens to be what? Our final answer. Let me recap again for those of us that could not grab it during the course of what? My explanation. Now the question says determine the pH of a 2.50 times 10 raised to minus 5 mole solution of sodium hydroxide. Now the question says that we should find pH of a solution of a 2.50 times 10 raised to minus 5 mole solution of what? Or sodium hydroxide. Normally calculating pH, I said I gave us a simple formula which happens to be this formula which happens to be pH equal to what? N minus log A. And another thing again that I said was that now in calculating pH, then we'll give you what? Hydrogen ion. So they must give you your hydrogen ion in order for you to be able to find what? pH. But in this question, they also give us ion, but the ion, the concentration here I mean, was not for the hydrogen ion. And you know that we can only get hydrogen ion for what? From an acid. But the concentration they gave us was for what? Sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is not an acid, it's an alkali, a very strong alkali at that. So we cannot use this formula to what? Calculate our pH. Now, and I brought out a formula for calculating pH, which happens to be what? pH plus pOH equals to 14. So this we will tackle what? This question. So it says we find pH, but we need to find our pOH first before what? Putting in the value in the formula and then getting our pH. Now, I now give us a simple formula for what? For calculating pOH. Reason because of this concentration they gave to us. Now, they gave us 2.5. If you check your first figure table, you will not see like something like 2.5. It's either 2 or 5. Then you will not get the value for what? Log 2 or log 5. It's only when you press calculator that you get the value for what? 2.5. If you press calculator, that's where you get the value for what? For this log 2.5. And the JAMB calculator does not have log. Does not have log in it. So I'm not going to solve a question like that. So I'm not giving us a simple formula for calculating a question like this. So in order for us to be able to calculate this pOH first, we need to use what? We need to use this particular formula because of the JAMB calculator. So pOH equals to what? N minus open bracket log S plus log Y divided by 2. Now, the reason why we are using this formula is because of this 2.5. JAMB calculator don't have log. So in order to get the value for this 2.5, we need to use what? This formula. This formula is not common. It's not common. I have my ways of deriving it. It's not what common. So get used to what? To this formula. So if putting the values like and then earlier on I also said that this 2.5 is between what? Log 2 and what? Log 3. So this log S plus log Y represents what? The log 2 and what? Log 3 divided by what? 2. Whereby this N is the power of what? The concentration. The concentration is what? Minus 5. But just pick the 5, leave the word minus. So that's how we got it. So now it was now pOH equals to what? 5 minus log 2 plus what? Log 3 divided by what? Divided by 2. Are you seeing it now? So I told you guys earlier on to memorize this. So log 2 is what? 0.30 and log 3 is what? 0.48 divided by 2. When I'm looking for the average here. So pH equals to what? 5 minus. Now 0.30 plus 0.48 will get 0.78. Divided by 2, we now got what? 0.39. So now it was now pOH equals to what? 5 minus 0.39, which happens to be what? 4.61. This happens to be what? Our pOH. Then, having got our pOH, then we will now substitute the value to what? Our formula, and then get our what? Our pH. So pH plus pOH equals to what? 14. pH equals to what? 14 minus pOH, which happens to be 14 minus 4.61. So pH equals to what? 9.39. So I now approximated it to what? 9.4. Now, have we got this answer? Let's check our option. Option A is what? 3.6. Wrong. Option B is what? 4.6. Option B is what? 4.6. I got 4. Okay. Option B is what? 4.6. I got 9.4. So this is not still correct. Option C is what? 9.4. And the answer will go to what? 9.4. No need to ever go to option D again, which means that option C happens to be the right answer. So the answer to the option to this question is what? Option C. So option C is what? The right option to this particular question. So you can see that even when we did not press log in JAMB in the calculator, we still got what? Our answer. If you want to prove me wrong, you see this value, press it in your calculator and see if you get this 4.61. If you want to prove me wrong, all these things I've practicalized them and I've tested them and they are what? They are correct. All these formulas I've given to you guys, I've practicalized them and they are what? They are correct. So from here, let's move to what? Straight away to what? To the next practice question of what? Of today's lesson. Please share the link so that it will get to others. Share the link to what? To your friend. Those preparing for what? JAMB, even WAEC, share the link to what? To them, so that it will get to your what? To your friends. So let's continue with today's what? Let's see. So moving on to the next question. The question says, if the pOH of a solution is 10.60, so the pOH, this is it. So pOH of a solution equals to what? 10.60. So if the pOH of a solution equals to what? 10.60, what is the pH of the solution? So they give us pOH and they're asking for what? For the pH. So pH equal to what? We don't know. That's what we are being asked to find in the question. So they give us pOH and ask you for the pH. Now, which equation relates pH and pOH together? Now, it is the equation we have used it in our previous questions before. So this equation, what happens to be pH plus pOH equal to what? 14. So this happens to be what? The equation pH plus pOH equals to what? 14. So, and we are finding what? Our pH. So pH plus pOH. What is pOH? 10.60. 10.60 equal to what? 14. So pH, what I'm going to do is to make pH subject of the formula by moving what? This 10.60 to the right hand side. So now become what? Minus, because it's crossing what? Equality sign. So now be pH equal to 14 minus 10.60. So pH equal to what? Now you can press calculator for this to get it. So it now be what? 14 minus what? 10.60. 10.60. So now 14 minus 10.60 equal to what? 3.4. So our pH equals to what? 3.4. So this happens to be the answer for what? Our pH. Now let's check our option. Now option A says 3.40. Option B says 4.40. Option C says 10.60, while option D says 7.00. And then the answer we got was what? 3.4, and option A says 3.40. 3.40 is same thing as 3.4. So option A happens to be our right option for this particular question. So from there, let's move straight to the last aspect of today's lesson. Please, if you find this video class very interesting, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel as Divine Online Chemistry Tutorial. Also do it by sharing the link, because this video lesson happens to be the first day of my 6-day marathon free class lesson on JAMB-based chemistry calculation. So please share my YouTube channel link to your friends, and then let's continue with our lesson of today. Okay guys, so this happens to be our next question, and also happens to be our last class question for today's lesson. Now the question says a sample of orange juice has a pH of 3.8. So the pH is 3.8. Then the question says what is the concentration? I wrote CONC. This is short form for reactive concentration. Please take note of this. So what is the concentration of hydroxide ion in the juice? Now this particular practice question was being given to me yesterday by my student, one of my students. She said to me, sir, I don't know how to calculate this question, and then I should help her in calculating this question. So I thought it was wise to bring it out to the public for all of us to also learn too. Now the question says a solution of orange juice has a pH of 3.80. So the pH is pH is equal to 3.80. Then the main question says what is the concentration of hydroxide ion? Now that in this question they're telling us to find hydroxide ion, which happens to be your OH, our hydroxide ion. This is what they're asking us to find, and they give us pH. Now I'll be showing us a vital formula for calculating this hydroxide ion. So the formula that we'll use in calculating this hydroxide ion will be please take note of this formula. Hydroxide ion, take note of this, equal to 10 raised to power minus pOH. Are you seeing it now? So this is the formula I'll go to use for calculating hydroxide ion. You know, in one of our previous video, I also gave us a formula for calculating hydrogen ion, and that formula was hydrogen ion equals to 10 raised to power minus pH. Are you seeing it now? So in that previous one, I gave us hydrogen ion equals to 10 raised to power minus pH. But in this case, in calculating hydrogen ion, it was equal to 10 raised to power minus pOH. Are you seeing it now? But in the question, they don't give us pOH, and then they also give us pH. Now to now calculate our pOH, because in this formula now we need to calculate our pOH first before we calculate our pH. Now in calculating our pOH, this is the formula we're going to use. We're going to use the formula pH plus pOH equal to 14. Are you seeing it now? So when we now get this our pOH, we will now substitute it into this formula and then get our hydroxide ion. So using this formula, pH just give us the question was 3.80 plus pOH equal to 14. So making pOH out of the formula, we have pOH equal to 14 minus 3.80. Now there's minus your JAMB calculator. I said it earlier on before. So you can press this your JAMB calculator. So it will be what? 14 minus what? 3.80. So 14 minus 3.80, you get what? 10.2. So our POH. So POH is equal to what? 10.2. This is not our final answer. This is just for the POH. Now, have we got our POH? Let's start use this formula and get our hydrogen ion. So hydrogen ion, like I said earlier on, is equal to what? 10 raised to power minus POH. Don't forget. So hydrogen ion equal to what? 10 raised to power minus. Now, what's our POH? 10.2. 10.2. So hydrogen ion equal to what? You can press this your calculator. So 10 raised to what? Minus 10.2. So 10 raised to power minus what? 10.2 is equal to what? We got 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11. So it's what? 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11 what? Mole per dm². Don't forget your unit. If you get your answer and you don't add your unit to it, some lecturers or some invigilators might say you wrong because there's no unit. Always learn how to add your unit. So hydrogen ion be what? Mole per dm³. Are you seeing it now? So mole per dm³. So the answer for our hydrogen ion here is what? 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11 mole per what? dm³. Now let's check our options if we already get the answer correctly. We got 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11. Now option A says 1.6 times 10 raised to power minus 4. Wrong. Totally what? Wrong. Option B says 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11. Let's check other option. Option C says 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 4. And we got 6.3 times 10 raised to power minus 11. So this is what? Wrong. And option D says 1.6 times 10 raised to minus 11. This is totally wrong. So option B, which happens to be 6.3 times 10 raised to minus 11, is our correct answer. Reason because our hydrogen ion that we got was 6.3 times 10 raised to minus 11 mole per dm³. So thank you guys for staying to the end of this lesson. So from here, I'll be dropping one work for us to solve. I'll be giving some assignment to solve, and also drop the answer in the comment section. So guys, this happens to be the assignment I said I was going to drop. This question happens to be a JAMB 2025 question, which happened to be last year question. So the question says, if the hydrogen ion concentration of a solution is 2.5 times 10 raised to minus 6 mole per dm³, what is the pH of the concentration? So this happens to be the question that I'll be dropping with us. So to understand my teachings, I want you guys to solve this question and drop the answer on the comment section. Bye, and see you in my next class on day 2.